back with Cage Chronicles. I think it's number 31 now, I think. Here with James as normal. And then we've got Renee Felton here today. So we've known Renee for like, I don't know, maybe 19 years or something since I moved over in 2006. Training together when I first came over. And then from there, you've gone on to do absolutely amazing stuff. And yeah, we're going to find out about that today. And then James will find out a little bit more as well. Yeah. James has got 1,000 questions for you.
I do. I'm very interested, like, to know about everything that you've been doing. So
cool. So I think what would be cool to start with is just like talk about how you got into martial arts anyway, and then obviously how that progression went from there. You know.
Yeah. So I started at Fight Club back in the day. So I worked next door at Zest Health Clubs, and then I would go do the odd PT with Habby, like once or twice a week. And I think I was probably a couple of months in, and then he'd said, I'm doing this fight show, can you help out? And I was just like, yeah, okay. Then I was like, can you get some friends? So that old chestnut. Yeah. And then we did the fight show, and you were on it. Yeah. Fighting Dylan Andrews.
That was the first one, yeah.
Yeah, the very first one. Had no idea what was going on or, you know, the organisation and whatnot. And then from there, just steamrolled.
Yeah, because I mean, you always seem to be the behind the scenes on all the shows. I mean, I used to help out a little bit, like just doing whatever he needed me to do. But you were actually running it with Habby, and it used to be the Super Fight. He was another Super Fight now, isn't it?
So Habby was Super Fight Australia, and then Luke over East is now just using Super Fight.
That's right, yeah. And then, he did quite a few. It was a really good show when we used to... You were them before?
He was... Because I started like 14 years ago when you opened the gym, but Super Fight Australia was still going when I started, so it might have been like...
Did you go and see any of them?
I think I went and saw one at the Italian Club. Did he ever have one? It was in the boxing ring at the Italian Club. It might have been like the last one because I remember he stopped doing them not long after.
Yeah, at the time, like when you think about it, it's like some massive names. The one I was on, Brian Embersall was headlining.
With John Valuri?
Yeah, John Valuri. It was a nightmare. Like, it was like he used to grab hold of you and you couldn't go anywhere. Yeah, he was on it. And then obviously further on down the line, they had like Rob Whittaker. Yeah. And then all these like big names now. Which back in the day they were just like coming up, so it was really cool to see.
Well, I remember like Sean Spooner from down south, like he was one of the main draw cards. Yeah. And then there was also who was like Steve Kennedy. He was on the up. Yeah. And there's like quite a few names that come across Gustavo. That people just forget.
Gustavo was fighting. Xavier, X-Man Lucas. He went kind of far, didn't he? I think he went to the Tough Smashers.
He was in the same season as Rob Whittaker. Yeah. The tryouts. And Glenn Austin tried out for that as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's a few names at that. But like that was good to see. Like that was Rob's last fight on the local scene before he went to UFC.
Was it?
Yep.
When he beat John Spooner?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know who the guy was. Like when Rob came in, and then I thought Sean's good. And then I seen him in, and I was like, "Who is this guy?"
But Sean was winning that round until he wasn't. You know. So.
And then he just the speed just changed, and it was like, it was crazy.
But it was quite funny, like watching that, like, you know, like everyone's preparation. And Rob was quite young. I think he was like just shy of 21. And because I was so busy, but then you hear the stories. It's like everyone's like, I haven't seen anything like that. The guy literally just laid down out the back, got up, did like a 20-second flurry, walked out and fought.
That was Rob?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and then now look at him now. He's like a legend, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's done so good for himself.
Yeah, so that was really good because I used to really enjoy watching them. Some like guys over from Japan and places like that as well. And then you were helping with that a lot.
Because it was Shuto before it went to Super Fight.
Yeah.
And then we did the feeders, which were at the Kingsway Sports Club. Yeah. They were fun. Yeah. Sunday morning, bit of biffo.
Yeah, the last ones I remember of those, Nash fought from Mark 1.
At
the shooter. He fought on the shooter at Kingsway. And
Simon Mitchell fought on those as well.
Did
Nick Thielen had a fight. Yeah, I think 2. Right.
Yeah. There was also, remember we had a Pat. Do you remember Pat?
Big Pat,
and he just like leg kicked this dude's leg.
They took him out for the second round. Remember that one?
And in the very early days, like if you lost quite quickly or won quite quickly, you could go again.
Yes.
That's before the commission actually looked after the MMA. Like they were only looking after the boxing back then.
Right. Yeah.
So you could probably get away with a bit more.
Yeah, there was a heap. Jack Becker, Rob Costa, all them guys were on it, weren't they? So
the Super Fight Australia that just. Habby packed it in, or?
Yeah, I don't know. I think like just the matchups. Like, you know, Habby did all the matchups and I did all the back end, like tying up the loose ends. And then when you just get pull out after pull out, like it becomes, it does get very hard. So.
Yeah.
But look, WA is in such a different spot now. Like we used to have to fly every opponent over and it's costly. Yeah. Whereas now, like look at last weekend, Alta and Domination, just like absolutely packed. There was a few interstates on the Domination MMA, but to get 2 full days of MMA fights, like
local,
5 years ago, that wouldn't have happened.
No, you looked at the Domination, a few years ago, where everyone dropped out. They only had 5 on the card, but luckily Jazz still ran it, and now look at it, like exploding up. So it's like it's pretty good. We could do it another one really. I think Mandra are doing one now, aren't they?
Yeah, that's the week before UFC, and I heard there's like 20 plus fights on that.
Wow.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah, it's just booming now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Combat sports as a whole, you know, and even like the general public knowing what combat sports are. Like, you know, you don't have to explain Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like, I think the average school mum, even if their kid's not training it, knows what it's about.
Yeah.
Well, if you watch them in the audience now, even when I finish some of the fights, and I don't really watch Eternal or something if I'm not there for fights, but when I finish, I go out in the audience, sit with the guys, and then most people know exactly what's going on. Yes. One is going for an armbar. I mean, there'll be a few twisties dick off. Other than that, people know they're quiet and they're looking for the armbars and he's got a triangle and stuff.
When some of the fighters I look after come over to Perth and like they're out, you know, like out and about or whatnot, or in the crowds for these events, they always comment on how educated the WA fans are. So.
Yeah, it's pretty good because it used to be like just WA was Muay Thai city. You know what I mean? But now it's like it was the Muay Thai still, but now with the MMA.
Oh yeah, our MMA is strong.
Really good. So from there, obviously you from there helping out with the fights and stuff. Well, what point did you get in the commission?
9 years ago. So I've been on the board for 9 years, and I always wanted to go and apply at some stage. I just thought I was a bit too young. Yeah. But 3 different people had. Contacted me and said, oh, you should apply for this. I hummed and hawed and I thought, oh, at least I'll go through the interview process. If I don't get anywhere with it, then next time around, like when I'm ready, I'll, you know, at least have that process down pat. And then, so I think it was like a 3-month process. By the time you interview, second interview, government doesn't move too fast. There's so many approval processes. And then, so started, 9 years ago and still there.
So what's your role there? Is it different all the time? Or?
No, I'm an industry commission member. So the actual board is made up of 9 members and 5 of us are with industry experience. So we do all the approvals. So each bout and promotion that comes through has to be approved. And then you've got your staff members. I think there's 4 full-time and a part-time, and they do your registrations, all your admin side of stuff. And there's a lot to it, and even when I started, I didn't really understand how big it was. And I had a pretty good understanding from doing the processes through the fight shows, like the fighter applications, promotion applications, things like that. But it took a while to wrap my head around, whereas like the general community, like I don't expect you guys to know exactly who's who, what we do, whatnot.
Yeah, because with it, stuff like, I don't know what you can say about, but with the approval for fights, what sort of stuff do you look at? Is it just like common sense, or is it like...
Yeah, and luckily in Perth, like we see you guys fight so often, so you generally know, like it's records. If someone's like overmatched, undermatched, you might see someone like, you know, 9 fight experience and he might have more of a losing side to it, but he comes to fight, you know, and then there might be someone on the way up who's like 3-0 up against someone with 15 fights. Might be more on the, you know, loss side of things. And then you ask a few questions, you ask the promoter, you know, a bit of feedback. And my, like, you know, what I like is to hear both trainers' point of view. As long as both trainers know the experience of the other guy, I think that's the main thing. Yeah,
so if you don't know, like I say, sometimes they've had like 3 MMA fights, but you don't know he's had a massive boxing background and there's like, I don't know, 50 fights or something, you know.
Well, and that's the thing, like, you know, most people do, you know, put their full record down. Some don't. But fortunately in Perth, we can sort of keep an eye on that because, you know, like if I'm not at fight shows for work, I'm generally buying a live stream or I'm in the crowd watching or, you know, it consumes my life.
Well, that was when I first came over and I started moving into opening this gym and then I got into coaching guys for fights over here. if I didn't know someone, I'd always message you. So it's like, I know, Renee will know them. And you'll go, oh yeah, he's had 2 fights, this and that, and then he's been over there and he trains here. And the person, so that's why it doesn't surprise me that obviously you went from the commission and then obviously now you're managing fighters, because most of it, I presume, managing is like communication skills and organisation skills.
Yeah, and that's, look, to find someone organised in combat sports is quite rare. And like with our fighters, we don't expect them to be super organised. They just got to be good at fighting. We'll deal with the rest. But yeah, so like I think I was working at an Eternal event and I'd bumped into Ash, who I work for now. Just, you know, high and by, like, so what are you
Ash
up to?
Is the owner of Engage.
Yeah, so Ash, owner of Engage, and then Ash and Eugene from City Kickboxing co-own Attain Peace Sports Management. So that came about, I think, once Israel got signed to UFC, and they wanted to keep it in-house. And then from there it just grew. Because at that stage, like, Hooker was signed, but he was self-managed and whatnot. So then they're obviously well and truly into the UFC. And then about 3.5 years ago, it was just getting too big and busy. And they just needed someone to do the admin side of things, the stuff that they say they don't like to do.
For the fighter management?
Yes.
But so you're doing both things, right? You're doing Engage, the brand.
No, I don't work, well, it goes hand in hand because obviously Ash owns it. But like I say, I do 90% Attain Peace, 10% Engage because it just crosses over.
But before, were you at a different point? Were you doing the Engage, just the brand?
No,
or was it always straight into the...
No, there was a brief period where I worked at the shop in Balcatta.
Yeah.
And I think Michaela worked there as well. And then that closed down, I think, prior to COVID. And then they started using a 3PL. So there was like quite a few years that like I wasn't working with Ash, but then we'd always kept in contact. He was off, you know, travelling the world. All the boys that he was looking after were blowing up. So I always kept an eye on it. And always super interested, like when I did, you know, see him, like, you know, what's happening, you know, what's going on now, and like, you know, and the process as well. And then, so from there, like I bumped into him at an Eternal, you know, how are things going? And then 3 months later, like he called me and said, oh, what are you doing? He's like, do you want a job? And I was just like, oh, okay. And then went in and he was just like, oh, I need you full time, this, that, the other. And I still had a few other things going on and I was, you know, pretty happy. But then also like something that I'd said, I was just like, oh, I'm happy, but you don't grow when you're comfortable. And then he was just like, come work for me. And then it's just steamrolled. So that's like 3.5 years now.
On the fighter management side. So
I still work for both. And so the good thing with commission, so you say what weekends you can work. So we have a monthly meeting. Everything's via email and then like whatever shows I get assigned to. So I think the expectation is you could be available for at least one a month, which at the moment works well because like I'm out of the country for about 10 days a month. And then work a show. And look, it's enjoyable. As much as it's work, I get to see people and catch up and whatnot. And they work hand in hand. How long, you know, if one takes over the other, we'll see. But at the moment, it's working well.
So with your management, with the company that you're part of, who's on your books at the moment? Like, isn't there people we would know, or up-and-comers as well?
Yeah. Like, the good thing is, like, when I was in JB Hi-Fi earlier and buying a whole heap of devices, and they're like, oh, what do you do for work? Athlete management. It's like, and then I was like, oh, do you follow UFC? And if it's a yes, you're like, oh, here we go, there's a 10-minute conversation. But I enjoy them. Like, and he was like, oh, yeah, I'm right into UFC. So it's like Israel, Dan Hooker, Kai, Carlos, and then we've got like a handful like on the way up. So we've got 2 in Road to UFC, 2 in Dana White Contender Series.
Who are they?
So Road to UFC is Lawrence Liu and then Aaron Toe.
He's just gone to the semi-finals, hasn't
yes,
he?
both of them have, so that's exciting. And then coming up for Contender Series is Cam Ralston and Brando Pericic.
Okay. Cam's just got a new opponent, hasn't he?
Yes, and see, like that changes. Like I didn't until the bout agreement came through. Like I didn't even know.
Right. Yeah. I just seen it on the Instagram today. Like that one had dropped out and he's got a new opponent and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So that's really.
So why are you out of the country for 10 days a month?
Oh, well, when the guys get booked for fights.
And like
people ask the question, and obviously like Volks looks after as well. But they're all over it. So I deal with them via WhatsApp, like daily, weekly, like depends. It just if they got fights booked, I'm dealing with them daily.
Sorry, Suzanne's. This one.
Oh, is it? I thought it was raining.
No.
I was like, looking
That
at
cable.
Okay. On the mic? Don't know. I don't like touching anything. Mine?
This one.
Unplug it.
Let's go. Technical problem. You pull
Edit
it
this
out
out.
from your end. No, it's not.
Still going. I thought it was raining. I'm looking outside.
I couldn't
going,
see anything.
Yeah.
Do you want to go back to that, or do I just?
Go. Yeah.
What was my question again? I forget.
Why am I
okay,
out
yeah,
of the?
Yeah. So yeah, why are you out of the country for 10 days a month?
So when the guys get booked for fights, depending where they are in their careers, I'll get flown out for fight week wherever that is, and just run their whole weeks, and then come back to Perth and continue on with my life.
So running their whole weeks in terms of like media and things like that.
Yeah, so they'll already have their schedule booked with UFC, but then on top of that, like someone like Volk, he'll have, other commitments. He'll have like, maybe sponsors or whatnot that he'll have to, do something for. Then you might have other people that just want to call in and out the house. Then it's like training, and then the boys might want like a barber to come out. Like it's just anything and everything.
Yeah.
So 1 minute, like I'm dealing with a barber over WhatsApp. Next minute, I'm dealing with an NBA guy that wants to drop in. So
Right.
Because obviously this week I seen that Carlos Ulberg, it was here, obviously his main card in Perth, and you obviously showing him, taking him around all the radio stations and all the different publicity.
yeah, so you'll have a UFC rep with you, like they organise that, and you're just with them to make sure that they're not doing more than what they need to, or like you just see their support system, like we need to like keep an eye on schedule or whatnot, or if they want something. So it's obviously a lot more to it than that, but that's the gist. So.
Yeah. And what sort of places have you been with your management thing now?
So far this year it was London, then I was back for 10 days, then it was Miami for Volk's fight. That was great. Home for a little bit, and then I was back out for Kai's International Fight Week. And then I've got Perth, so that's good that, I get a bit of a rest.
Home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here, which works out like it does become a busier week because like you're on the ground, you're the go-to and whatnot. And then, and if I've got time off, like I'm off to Exmouth next week and try and get a few WA trips in between.
That's just a holiday.
Yeah, holiday.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So like Miami, if I remember correctly, that you were there, you were like pretty much like cage side.
Yep.
For Volk's fight, obviously he won.
Yep.
That was awesome, I guess, like a wicked experience. So do you always get to be that close? Or?
No, like I can be front row or I can be up in the stands back row. So
who deals with that for you?
So with Volk, like depending where they are, so they get like per their contract, they get X amount of seats. And then if it's something like that, like, you're there to make sure that his dad and wife get in the cage and they're looked after and whatnot.
Right.
So you'll get front row for those seats, but someone who probably isn't that big, like their seats are up in the bleachers. So that like, the typical contract for a UFC fighter, they'll get 4 tickets and they're anywhere in the crowd. So
right, okay.
And I'm happy to be anywhere. Like I'll go wherever I have to go. So
that must have been awesome though, seeing him get that win and being that close. Because I think I remember on your Instagram, like you were filming.
Yeah. Like I think you become so used to it that you have to just pinch yourself and go, this is pretty cool. And I had Amanda Nunes next to me.
Yeah.
And I think when the Paddy Pimblett and Chandler fight, because I'm still a fan. Like I'm a massive fan. Yeah. So when they're fighting, like I was like screaming, and she's like, "Are you related to Paddy?" And I was just like, "Nah, this is just a good fight."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then when Volk's fight was on, he clearly won the first. The second round he dominated, and then he got dropped in that last 20 seconds. And then Israel was like a few seats up, and like we're talking, we were like, "That was our round." Yeah. And she was just like, "No, like it's like he didn't win that round." I'm like, "Yes, he did." Yeah. And there's like knockdowns count for so much. I'm like, "Yeah, but that body of work," and that's the thing, like judging. Yeah, it's just like, and he did have Diego on the back foot. Like if the cage didn't save him, like he would have been knocked down at some stage as well. So, but. Like you can argue that point all day long.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What when you were talking about like matching up the fighters for fights, so let's take Kev for example. So Kev he's ready to fight, he's in good nick, and then you go to the promotions and then you say Kev wants a fight. The promoter has to find an opponent, and then they come to each trainer. Trainers agree, fighters agree, and then it goes to the commission, and the commission have to say, this is
usually what happens with me is like the promoter will go, oh, I've got this guy who wants to fight, but they haven't, half the time they haven't been told about our guy. So they go, you take it? I said, yeah, we'll take it. Then they'll go to the other gym, and then whether they take it or not, or vice versa, and then it goes to the commission, make sure it's all good.
So so the commission's the final. Okay, promoters, trainers, fighters have all gone yes. Then it goes to commission. Then commission goes, this is a fair fight.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, I think.
Or we ask for further information, or it's declined. So it's one of the three,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
cause there's been a couple of times there's been issues, but then you just you talk through it with the commission, and usually it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just explaining the disparity in their experience or whatnot. But it's not. There's some that are declined. But you don't hear about them.
So sometimes maybe on paper you'll look and go, well, I mean, I think domination. I'm not sure 100%, but CJ fought that guy from over east. That guy was like on his third or fourth MMA fight. Obviously, that was CJ's debut. But then you look at what CJ's been doing and the level of his jiu-jitsu, and then you look at it and go, okay.
And also, he'd had 2 amateur boxing fights.
Yeah, so you look at stuff
everything.
Like that.
Yeah, everything gets looked at.
Take everything into account. You don't just go, oh, this guy's on his fourth MMA fight. This guy's had none. It's not.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Got to take everything into account.
CJ was probably still a blue belt and had no experience whatsoever. Under 3 fights, it's probably 5 fights.
Right.
But you just, each one's different. I don't want to give a blanket I
think that's good. You're not just looking at the figures on paper and then going, nah. It's but this guy here, you don't understand. He's winning super fights in jiu-jitsu, so he's going to be fine on that side. Okay.
And plus, there's so much on the internet. We've got YouTube, Tapology, and Instagram. You look at fighters, especially when there's been the odd time where they're sort of putting their record down, and it's just well, your Instagram says otherwise. So,
because there have been a couple of times where promoters come to me and they've offered a fight, and usually I can look and I can find them, but sometimes in China or something like that, it's very hard to find them. And then this guy was supposed to be 6-1. And I was I can't find any videos of him and all. I was I'm not taking a fight when I can't find anything on him at all.
It's funny because when you took that fight when Alden had troubles in Thailand getting back into the country and you fought Parquet. And on the other side, they were calling you Mystery Man because they couldn't find anything on the internet because when you fought, in the day, it's probably on VHS.
Yeah, it was. Right. I've got a couple on VHS.
Right.
I was
just transferred them to DVD now.
I was telling Habby about that once, who said all my videos on VHS by camcorder, and I wish I'd had all this stuff now, with their photographs and the
Instagram,
stuff,
social media. It's a lot different, isn't it?
It's a lot different now. Yeah,
they're who's this random guy just taking this fight on short notice?
Old man jumping in.
Just I'll do it.
That was funny. On the Sunday, Habby messages me and goes, oh, you're looking pretty fit, and I'm like, yeah, I've started eating since I come back from Thailand. And he goes, Alden's pulled out. And I was like, oh yeah. And then he goes, do you want to jump in? I was like, let me go and check out my pads. I did some pads. I was like, yeah, go on in. It's 4 days out, I'll do it. Yeah. So But
cut a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't look too good.
But things happen. It's what it is.
One thing I want to know is judging. So, does the commission have anything to do with the judging at the fights?
We oversee it. The judge has to be registered with us. Mm-hmm. And obviously, they're putting the scorecards in. But that's, as much as we oversee it, it's also the head ref as well to give feedback to that person. But the decision is the decision.
So, is each promotion, do they hire their own judges?
Well, they normally engage with the head ref, and then the head ref will pick their team, which I think in Sydney is different. And there's pros and cons, I've spoken about this before, just with, people within the industry. In Sydney, the promoter will go, right, we're having an MMA show on this particular date, and it's just a random system of whoever they have in their system, their particular commission, and it will just spit out the refs and judges.
Right.
Whereas here, the head ref will choose his team. So
is that say Matt would choose his team of judges for a domination or a turn?
And then you've got David Trung for the Muay Thai events, or it might be Abby, or whoever that particular person is.
And so who are these judges? Are they just how do they become a judge?
Well, I think for most part they've generally had a career within combat sports. They've normally fought themselves. I think there might be 1 or 2 that haven't. but they've been around it, they've shadowed. Like, you don't just step in straight away. Like, you have to do timekeeping, you have to shadow all the shadow bout cards, gets kept and looked at and whatnot, and they're all, like, recorded.
Yeah.
And then when the head ref is confident, they'll put you up, and generally, like, you might get, you know, the earlier bouts. Like, they're not going to put you in for main event. And then just work your way through. Similar to like an actual fighter, you know, like, you know, start through the ranks and then work your way up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because a few times like with the judging and stuff like that. When I went to see someone at the commission, I don't want to go into it, but like I was saying about like how do you take a look at this? I didn't agree with the decision, and then they were pretty much said if there wasn't a foul or something like that, something went wrong, then you can't like basically appeal the decision because there's no governing body between the commission and eternal. It was on that one, that particular thing. But then if you got something like where there's a governing body, then you can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I never knew that. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So if it's under like one of the sanctioning bodies, like with the Muay Thai, they might have, and they've got a different set of scorecards. So their representative will come sit next to our staff representative, and then they do the scorecards together. Yeah. But essentially, they take them away. Because I know there was one, and it goes back to Thailand. It was reviewed with 5 people, and then it stayed. That result stayed. They agreed with what the judges on the night saw. But like in general, like the scorecards are available for you to look at, but the names will be redacted of the judges. But you just have to like speak to someone in the commission, and it's more so to get feedback, and then liaise with their head official, and Yeah, that's all I was asking for. Like when I originally went in, it was just more. It wasn't the amateurs. It is what it is. The pros. It was like well, this is like their career, and then if they do get a loss because if it's bad judging, well, I think it's bad judging. Then there's not a lot we can do, which is I didn't really know that at the time, you know. I think it's always good to have the conversations. Like, how did you get to this result? Like, I want to know why. And that, so. 100%.
I kind of get it. Almost be like, say for the UFC, if you had judging and the person was like, had like a social media account or something, like, so you're a judge, almost like a person, you know, like some of the UFC refs are like personalities, right? Like Big Dan, Herb Dean, the dude with his mustache,
that he has to tuck into his shirt.
Like, they've got Instagram accounts, they're a big personality, this and that. It's almost like the judge, you could, I understand why you don't know their names, because they probably just get so much hate from every direction. It doesn't matter what they scored it, but also it would be cool if they did have a social media judge the thing, and then, you know, on the weekend they could be like, oh, they could like recap it and be like, this is how I scored it, this is what I saw, like, and people could see that side of things. Well, I heard
something quite a few years ago. Someone said like the referee has the health and safety in their hands, and then the judges have their careers in their hands, essentially. Yeah. And look, especially like at the higher end, when I know what's coming next for these UFC athletes, like, you know, if they get a win, they get this opportunity and whatnot. So, like, when you lose a split decision, you lose half your pay, because normally that's the structure, how UFC like to do it, is like your show money and then your win money. It's a pretty tough one to sit through.
And it's always going to be like, judges are going to make mistakes, and the referee might make a mistake. I wouldn't want to be a referee.
Well, who was that with, was it Cub Swanson? Or I'm thinking... where they like stuffed up, and he was like, at first he like went off for a split second, and then they were like, no, it's like, you know, that's his one mistake in X amount of times, but you know, they're humans as well.
No, 100%. I wouldn't want to do it. But then it doesn't help the fighter themselves, does it? Like, they're like, well, I thought I did everything.
In jiu-jitsu, I always find this like, I don't agree with this. So some competitions or some shows or whatever, they'll have, you got your ref, you got 2 guys competing, and then if there's no winner, they'll do ref's decision. And that's ridiculous. I hate that. As a ref, literally, you should just be focusing on just keeping it safe. So you're just like, whatever the rule set is, like, you can't read, but you should be watching. I know, can't read, bang, or DQing people if it's a DQ. Not focusing on otherwise you're watching the match. It's a 2 different jobs.
Completely.
Like, judging or reffing is 2 different. So then it gets to the end of the match, you know, like we're at the finals at Stakes the other day, and then all of a sudden Edelson's got to pick a winner. But he was reffing, he's trying to make sure it's all good, and then he's got to pick a winner.
But he is watching scoring points as well.
Hey?
The referee, you mean?
Yeah, but there's no points in that.
Oh,
in
that one.
Like,
Yeah,
there's no points. So now it's like he's got to decide.
Yeah,
But if you're just more focusing on like the rule set and making sure like there's no reaping, there's no this, there's no that, keeping him safe, making there's a knockout, but he's still good. Okay, I was going to jump in, and then at the end of it, it's like who won, and you're like. Sometimes it's easy to tell, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
So.
I know, like, back in the day, they used to have, like, scoring ref. And that was, like, well before, everything become, like, a little bit more stricter, but for the right reasons. It's just, like, they've got enough on their plate. Like, for them to actually have to score a round on top of that, it's just too much work.
They still do it in jiu-jitsu sometimes. Like, I think Battlegrounds has 3 judges, so you got your refs just reffing, then 3 judges. But, like, say a show like Battlegrounds, and you got like a 10-minute match or something, and then some of those shows will do like it's a super fight jiu-jitsu match, and then at the end there's no submission, then the ref has to decide who won. And like, sometimes it could be you're not really like,
but also draws are there for a reason. Like if you cannot pick someone, or if it's like absolute deadlock, but also it's a promoter's dream because you just rematch that fight.
Right. Yeah, there could be more draws in MMA, I think. Like you
but also like you don't want judges to get lazy and go 10-10, 10-10 just because you should be able to find something. But if you can't, like I don't think you should have to find something for the sake of it.
Yeah. Just to give a winner. Yeah.
So with all these traveling and stuff with the fighters and that, is there anything? What was the best live show you've been to with your fights? And obviously, you're probably going to be more invested in the people that you're managing, or you're seeing that they're going to stand out. Because I know, like, if I go and watch an MMA fight and then my boys are fighting, then obviously I'm super invested in that, and then the other ones will be cool. But like, I'm more invested in my guys.
Who was it in London? And I think it was Kevin Holland versus someone, and it was just like it was striking. It was on the ground. It was backwards and forwards, and that stands out. Off the top of my head, I just. Every fight I'm like, that's, great fight. Although, like, one fight that I do talk about regularly is Kevin and Harry. I was in the crowd with Nico, we were watching that, and that was the night before, was that before 305 when I had Izzy, Dan and Kai on the card.
Big weekend.
Oh, mate, I was just like, because I was in the group chat with the whole team, like there's 20 of us, and I'm like, I don't need to watch another fight this weekend, like I'm done.
Did the boys watch it as well then?
Volk did, because he was like, he watched it on a live stream, but all the rest they were pretty busy. But we were all talking about it.
Volk say one?
Well, a lot of people were in the comments on, like a lot of like professional fighters and stuff were in the comments. I mean, that was.
I think the fans were the real winners with that fight.
Yeah,
so
I don't think I'll ever forget that. That was amazing. I remember.
Were you in the corner for that?
Yeah. And I went in the cage for that too. So me and Steve were in.
So how do you like? And this is the thing. Like when I'm cage side, whether I'm working or like in the first row, like the closer you are, the more invested and more adrenaline you get. Like you guys being right there and having to be like the remote control for your fighters. Like I just think like the adrenaline that I burn, let alone you guys. Like after a big night like that, are you guys wired and awake for hours on end?
We're wired and awake, but knackered.
Yes,
So you go home, I want to go to bed.
You can't sleep.
And I'm just laying in bed thinking about it. Because that particular night, I think we had 4 or 5 on.
It was a big one.
Wongy Fongy fought for, I think maybe match it for. And then Frank won the title after that crazy, like, he was getting out wrestled, and then he just drops it.
Oh, the knee.
Yeah. So he wins that. I'm like, whoa. And then I go backstage. I'm all like excited.
Having to calm down.
And then I come on the corner. Kev's just like chilling. I'm like, oh yeah, chill out. And then we had to go out for that, and that was like epic. And after that, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That was too much.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever forget it. But we were you were out with for Frank. So I think it was you, Cam, and Ryan. I think in the corner for Frank. And so it was me, Bosch, and Kev, and we're in the the warm-up room, and Harry's in the room next door.
Oh, okay.
But Frank's fighting right now, and so me and Bosch's got it on the live stream, so we're watching Frank.
Was
fight.
Kevin, or does he not watch it?
Kev's like just doing his
thing,
thing, he's doing his thing.
Because I wonder, like our guys watch it, but it's like how much energy they put into watching it. It's an art.
Yeah, Kev's like. And that's the thing with Kev. Like, he's so... I'm sitting there watching Frank fight, and I'm like, just tell me what you need, Kev, But I know he's such a professional. Yes. It's like he's doing his thing. He's got it down. Yeah. But all you can hear next door is Harry just like... on the pads, like, so hard. And we're here, like, watching Frank. but we could hear the crowd, but it's like a 10-second delay.
Oh, yeah.
So where he can hear the crowd, and then like you're watching, and then Kev's trying to get in this mindset, and meanwhile he can hear the crowd. He knows we're watching here, and he can hear Harry next door, and he's like, it's all going through, and he's just trying to do his thing, and then we just hear like, wah, and then I'm like, that's got to be, Frank's got to have won. There's no way that local crowd's going to do that for the other guy. And we just wait, bang, and then he gets it, you know. And then Kev's like, what happened? And we're like, oh, he won. He's like, yeah, cool. But he just like stays in it.
Cool.
And then you come out, and then it's literally like straight back out to the corner.
But having to like be in that moment, enjoy it for a split second, but then change your hat.
Yeah. But I remember somebody was behind us, and they were filming like right behind the corner. So there's the three of us, and they filmed like a lot of that fight. I think, and it was Lily McCormack it was that filmed it. And I got her to send me the video because it was like from where she was, and then seeing us, like Steve's trying to, you know, like you're trying to like grab him down because he can't stand up, and he's like screaming and yelling, and then like it was just going nuts. And then he wore like brand new pants. They were covered in blood, like, because we're just in there talking to Kev, and there's just blood everywhere. Like shoes are covered in blood. Like
the last like 15 seconds when he took him down,
and
took his back. Like the guy kept pushing me back
because Steve's like climbing up the stairs,
and then I push this guy. When I'm climbing the stairs and I'm shouting through,
right there.
I'm like, finish him, finish him. And it was like just so crazy.
Because Kev had his back. He was hitting him. And then he's like right there, but Steve's like...
Cam stood... If you watch the video, Cam stood on the chair. He's over like, this is the last 10 seconds. I'm leaning over here. James is like, oh. Like,
it was unreal. Yeah,
it was a cool fight. Very cool fight.
Yeah.
Such a good fight.
Hopefully got some fight news for him this week. So.
Oh, awesome.
Which would be pretty cool.
Yep.
And then, so what happens next for you then? Where do you go from here for your management and everything else? Is there anything coming up, or is there anything you're planning to do that's different? Or
no, I'm pretty content at the moment. Like I'm living my best life.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty like, you know, to get a good work-life balance, I think you never master it. Like there's always, you know, one thing that creeps in or whatnot, but for the most part, like I'm just riding the wave.
Are you still training at all then?
I train at Flow with Tom Lawrence.
Oh,
Shout out to Tom, way back when, little Tommy. So I'm there, and look, it's, you know, with your travel and whatnot, still trying to hit pads once a week down at Mac 1. Haven't been back since I've been back.
Who holds pads for you?
Oh, yes, so Harry does the...
does he?
And then
Davo.
Davo, which is good. Because Harry only holds for the boys now, which is, for him to hold pads
that's cool.
Is quite special. Brings back a few memories. And then, like, I've got a staffy, so he consumes my life.
Oh, very cute.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen lots of pictures of him.
So, I pay a fortune for dog sitters at the moment because I'm always here, there, everywhere.
Right,
So you work mostly alongside with Ash and Eugene then, obviously, because they're running, or do you have, like, or do you do your own thing mostly and then see them now and again?
We try and call each day, but then there might be days on end that they're so busy. So Ash and Eugene speak most days, and then I'll liaise with Ash, and then if I need info off Eugene, because the amount he flies, I'm always liaising with UFC to book his flights.
Right.
And that's just a mess.
Yeah.
Like the amount that guy flies, I never want to say I'm jet lagged, or I never want to say I'm tired. Like it's just insane.
Is that just for fights?
For fights, yeah. So what he's got coming up, so he'll fly out for Cam Ralston for Contender Series. That flies out Sunday.
So where's that?
That's in Vegas.
Vegas, okay.
So,
the Apex.
Yep.
No, yeah.
Cam fights on the Tuesday. He'll go straight from there to Shanghai. Then he's got the two boys on the Friday night. And then he's got someone, Rongju. He will corner on the Saturday on the Shanghai fight night.
Right.
Then he'll go straight from there back to Vegas for Brando for Contender Series, and then back to Auckland. That's all in 10 days.
It's all ahead of you as well, mate. All this. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
Can't take
and then,
now.
and then obviously, like, he's cornering on the local scene, like how many guys that they have fighting like day in, day out over in New Zealand is insane. And I don't have anything, don't even know half of them, but I liaise with Brogan when some of the guys are matched on Hex or Eternal, like, you know, there's a bit of admin or comms there. But then all the UFC guys, like, I manage everything from their medicals to their flights to, like, you know, if they're extending their hotels or whatnot. So visas, there's a lot to it.
So pretty easy to get along with, Ash and Eugene?
Yeah, they're great. Yeah. And all the fighters, like everyone everyone always asks like, oh, what are they like? And the first thing that comes to mind is like they are so well mannered.
Yeah.
Like I just can't get over like how, like I'm normally annoying them for things like, and no one likes admin, no one likes paperwork. And I'm like, can you do this? Can you do that? And it's, you know, always like, you know, thank you and whatnot. And I always get really nice messages post fight weeks of.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet. And then do you obviously, when they obviously go to the big fights and stuff and say like Volk's fighting or Izzy or someone like that and you go and watch them, then do you go out and party with them afterwards or not so much?
I avoid after parties,
Oh,
but
really?
it's my job to liaise with the person from the after party, get everyone in, and then I bounce. Like I'm out of there. Yes, yeah.
Not for you?
Not for me. So like the last one, I think the after party was at the hotel. So like got everyone in, like Shaq's DJing, whatnot. There's, you know, a few NFL players,
Shaq's
NBA
DJ.
playes.
Oh, Shaq.
She's
Yeah,
like,
Shaquille.
Didn't you get? She just slipped that in. I
No.
nearly missed it.
No,
eh?
no.
She's like, Shaq's DJ. Yeah, just whatever.
And as soon as everyone
said hello
set,
to Shaq. You know, caught up with him, then I left. But
and I'm in my hotel room with a cup of tea reading a book.
right. Yeah.
But you're there at some point. Okay.
Yeah, I was there for like 15, probably about half an hour by the time, because like Volk and Izzy went in first, and then Kai was still with family.
Right.
Once he got in and he was set, and then that's job done.
So
Keep my phone on me. My phone's on 24/7.
Yeah.
Hope that I don't get a call or a message, especially the next day, because everyone's peeling off and flying off. And if you're getting a call from one of them, it's normally a lost passport, and you
something's
don't want to
gone
be dealing.
wrong.
Yeah, it's something. But yeah.
And then, so with going all to these events and stuff, is any celebrities you met that you've gone like, oh, they've been a massive fan of or anything?
I think because I'm such a fight fan, like I'm sitting next to, I think there was like Clay Gorda, is that how you pronounce it?
Clay Guida.
Yeah, Guida. So I think at one of the previous and like to get in and out of those rows, you need a security escort. So you know all the UFC fighters that are there as guests and whatnot. So you're sitting with them. And and I was sitting with Shay, which is Volk's best mate. He flies in from the UK. So they got a really nice story. They started out at Tiger way back when for the tryouts. So he flies in for so I was just like, and he's a fight fan as well. So I was just like, I'll go get us a drink and then I'll come back. And he's like, awesome. So, and they pour them so strong. So like I've got this drink I've nursed for about 3 hours. Yeah. And then Clay's sitting next to me. He's like, we're the only ones drinking here, like, cheers. And I was like, yeah, if you only knew that I've been holding it for this long. Right. So, but there's always those moments. I think like Will Farrell. Met him. We had to go to the ice skating. And that was a cool experience. Like you get tickets, you're sitting on the ice. Like Volk had to like beat this drum to like get the game. Is it a game?
Okay.
Started or whatnot. And then, so it's like you get tickets there and then, you get spoilt for choice.
Yeah, but you're just at home having a cup of tea.
Just reading my book, cup of tea.
Why is that? So why aren't you going to the after parties? You just don't want to.
Well, you're with them 24/7. It's just like by that stage, like, and my phone's tired. Going off, like, and then it's like obviously trying to make sure that the family get in and everyone's set and everyone who needs to be there. The fighter's got the people around them that they want.
Yeah.
Long as that's set, but like your days can be like 12, 15. Whatever. So after Volk's fight in Miami, by the time he finished media, it was 3 a.m. So he got stitched up. We're out the back rooms. He's still in his tracksuit and walkout shoes. And, like, good on the media, like, they're still sitting there and it's, like, so early. And, like, you don't know what time it is. Like, you're just, like, running through. It didn't feel like it was that. And then afterwards, like, I'll go have a shower and then we'll go to the after party. And they're like, nah, everyone's got to leave. You can't have a shower. So they, like, literally sent him out of the venue.
No way.
No shower. And then we're on the bus. And the after party was probably only, like, not even 1 kilometre away. But it took about 20 minutes in traffic. So you're in a bus and then you've got, like, the super fans, like, belting on the bus and, like, trying to get through.
Really? At that time in the morning, they're still
It's still around.
Yeah.
And then, rock up to the after party and they're like, oh, like, you're close, you're a couple of 100 metres away. And they're like, can you just walk? So I've got the after party, like, sort of putting a bit of heat on me. And I'm like, the guy can't walk, you know, so.
Yeah.
And then, appearance for 45 minutes and then you get out of there.
Right, yeah.
It's mad with the fans. I remember when Courtney got into one championship and, like no one knows who she is. We turn up at the airport. We got stuck in security because it was near COVID time. We came out. It was like, there must have been 5 in the morning or something. There's a guy waiting there for an autograph. Yeah. And he goes, are you Courtney Martin? I was like, yeah. Took an autograph and they got the car to take us to the hotel. I was like, what the hell? I was like, that's just crazy.
Now I'm taking more notice, like, because bigger.
No, but I'm just saying as an example. It was like she's just got to that, and then no one really knows her. But if you go on somewhere where there's like Volk and Izzy and that, they'd wait all night, wouldn't they?
Oh, an airport, like they know when they're flying in. Like they must have a bit of intel. And even like Volk's flight changed, and they still knew he had like people there.
Wow.
But I've noticed this like group, and they're just at every fight show. They're at the airport, then they'll just wait out the front of the fighters' hotel for the whole week. And I'm like, following UFC and going to events is an expensive hobby. And I'm like, if you're not working, how can you afford this right now?
Yeah.
And then there's this one lady, she must be in her 70s, and she's always trying to get autographs. And, like, the guys can never say no to her. But I'm like, she's got a business happening. Like, those aren't for her. Like, she's selling them.
Yeah.
Or she isn't, so.
Yeah. It's hanging on to them.
Yeah.
That's cool. It must be a crazy lifestyle. And then because you're traveling everywhere and you're back here. So what's your usual day to day when you're back here? Obviously, you're doing the commission. How many days do you work a month in the commission?
Oh, so it's like your one meeting, and then just say like on average it might be a weigh-in and 2 shows.
Oh, so that's all. You're not in the office?
No, I'm not in the office.
Okay,
so you got your staff members for that,
right,
and I'm just via email for the approvals.
Yeah.
So that works well.
Oh, so you just turn up the weigh-ins, turn up to the shows. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then our monthly meetings and subcommittee meetings and whatnot. But I handle 5 different email accounts, so as soon as I open my eyes, it's pretty much just going through. And also, like, I work with the Vegas time, like the UFC offices 9 to 5, plus, whatever else is going on. So you're just constantly in email correspondence with them, like, daily.
Has there been a time when you've done the management and you've gone, this is the worst day ever, and I want to do this again? Like, is it like just everything's gone wrong?
No, I don't think so.
Nothing's been that bad? No.
Nothing's... Oh, look, I remember when Kevin Jusay had in St. Louis.
Yeah.
He'd weighed in, past medicals. His fighter had weighed in. So, like, you're always around to, like, see that.
Yeah.
Then we've all peeled off and gone back to our rooms. And then he hasn't been cleared. So then you're dealing with, like, the phone going off. And because Kevin, we found out on socials first. Yeah. And he's like, oh, is this true? And it's just like, oh, what's going on here? It's like, I think I've been around it long enough to not get too emotional. Like, my highs aren't too high, my lows aren't too low.
Yeah.
So, like, it's part and parcel, as shit as it is. And you see fighters, I've seen a fight on the local scene where the guys sealed the ring, gone in, like, the trainer's taken off the Moncon, said the prayer, whatnot. They've peeled off, and then he's just collapsed, like blood pressure. Like, so he's taking the deep breath in, deep breath out, and then he's gone, and then fight's off. So it's like, like you see so many fighter pullouts and whatnot, but then you always think, oh, once we're at the weigh-in, the fight's on. It's just like, not necessarily.
Yeah.
I think the worst one I had is I went with Ashby over to
the book?
Sydney. That was insane. Like, we went to Sydney for this fight. He cut weight, made weight over here, had to get approved by the commission over here, and then do this like video thing.
Really? I didn't know. Yeah, I wasn't privy to that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's what it was. Yep. We flew over there. We got there, got the rules meeting, everything else. Goes to the fight show. I wrap his hands. I said, we'll warm up about 10 minutes. The girl comes down and she goes, oh, you guys were next. Oh, your guys haven't turned up. And I went, what? And he said, oh, your guys haven't turned up. I said, no, we've just travelled from Perth. You must be mistaken. And then I kicked off big style. And then the commission was there for them. And I went whether the commission is there. And I went over to them and he didn't have his book. It was just a big hoo-ha.
Yeah.
The guy was already having a beer at the bar. The one who wasn't. And I went over to him. And I was absolutely just...
Was that self-funded as well because it was... or was it...
I'm not sure of that one. I think we might have got flown over. I'm not sure. The one before, when I used to, back in the day, was self-funded. But maybe we got flown over. But... regardless, imagine you cut all that weight and then you travel over there. It was just
also
insane.
Time taken off work and like you just miss your moment, like that fight.
I didn't know what to say. I felt like such a dick. Like, again, it wasn't my fault, but like I was just like, what the fuck I'm supposed to do here?
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't say anything, and then it was just a crazy. But it can happen like just before the fight. It's like insane. And I've seen people turn up to weigh-ins and go, "Oh yeah, I'm not fighting." Like I've seen that before as well.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times. Yeah.
I think they're the same people.
Won't name names.
No, not at all. So it must be a crazy life. Must be pretty cool. And how long do you see yourself doing that for a while, or?
Yeah, like there's no slowing down with the team. The team's just getting bigger and bigger, and more guys getting signed and whatnot. So, like I'm happy to be a part of it as long as they're happy to have me. So.
Did you scout anyone? I know, or is that what someone like Ash does in Eugene?
Yeah, so generally it's if you're fighting under Eugene, then you're through the management system.
Right.
So
Okay.
Yeah. I know like Ash looks after Jazzy Park commercially.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So yeah, but otherwise it's like through that banner.
She's killing it as well.
Yeah, she's doing well. Yeah, she's good value.
I think Australia seems to be that and New Zealand seems to be the hub for all these fighters now. It's like
definitely.
It's insane.
Yeah. We're doing very well. Like considering like when Whittaker first got signed, like that was just like so big, but still quite unachievable for the average martial artist. Like if anyone wanted to go to UFC, whereas now like you don't have to train overseas. Like there's gyms here that are like building their guys up from ground, and they're getting signed. So you don't need, like I know in America they do like wrestling in college and whatnot, like high school. Whereas now it's like if you're getting into something, in your teenage years, I don't believe you have to go too early. You don't need to burn out, but like there's opportunity.
I don't think it's like a secret sauce really. Like, I travel so much and I always train everywhere I go and I always try and go to the best gyms and I go in and I'm like, we're doing this already.
Yep.
We're doing the same stuff or maybe we're even doing it better sometimes, or that's cool, I'll take that away. But like there's no secret recipe. It's like putting the hard work and consistency of
That's
training.
what it is.
That's all it is. And people look, I need to go here and get this. Like, you don't.
No.
You just need to put the work in.
Yes. And like my biggest takeaway, like as an amateur, like compete as much as you can. And whether that's, if you are, vouching for UFC, then do your MMA, but also jumping grappling comps, like do stand up, like try and be, active like at least monthly.
Yeah. That's what I'm always preaching. Like get in the Thai boxing fights, get a boxing fight, get into the no gi grappling, the gi grappling, everything's going to help.
And then once you get to pros, like just start mapping it out a bit better. Like
100%,
Yeah.
Because no one's going to look at your amateur record. Like,
No,
it doesn't matter.
they don't.
It doesn't matter. It just depends on how good you are by the time you turn pro.
Yes.
So let's see you fight against a southpaw. Let's see you fight against a good wrestler and see how you work out. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to win. Yeah, you're going to go in to win. But it's the experience.
Yep, definitely.
Because you're never going to perform. You've had boxing fights before and things like that. And then the first couple of fights, I don't think you ever fight the way you'd spar. You know what I mean? Like, because it's overwhelming. Yep. But the more you do it, the more you're like, I can do this.
But that's like when people say, have you got any advice? It's just like, just remember to breathe. And if you remember your own name by the end of it, that's good.
Exactly.
So you don't remember anything. So.
I can't remember. I go, what happened in round 2? I've been in a Muay Thai fight where it's been 5 3-minute rounds. And I remember it's been a war. And I got back and I think it was like, I thought it was the 3rd round. And it was the 5th round. And I've gone, I was like, okay, I'm going to take the next 2. And he goes, this is the last round. I was like, oh, is it? I was like, okay. And then I didn't have the clue what the round was. It seemed that they just be all in my head, when I was in there. It was good, but this experience. Anyway, we'll round it up. That was pretty damn interesting. It was very good. And hopefully we'll see you on the front row of the UFC as usual.
Yep, I generally know where the cameras are, so I try and hide a little bit. So.
Yeah. I was surprised I got you on here because remember when you used to teach, I tried to get you with a camera, you're like, get away from me.
Yes.
So that's it's good to have you on. Thanks for coming on.
Cool, thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Thanks, Renee.